Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, depending on the time of the day you're listening to this. This is Arts in Film Podcast, and Mimi is my name. Today we have a very special guest, and he's special because he's not from this world. He's very futuristic.
Wow.
He's very innovative. He's creative. So it is a pleasure to welcome I call him Dr. Dre, but his name is Dare Johnson, to the podcast. Welcome, Mr. Dare Johnson.
Thank you, Miriam. I call Miriam Mimi. So thank you, Mimi. It's nice to be here. Thank you very much for inviting me.
No problem. I'm really excited about this topic because how it even came about is from the WhatsApp group. So that's why I'm very excited, because everybody wants to know exactly how do we, as art directors, especially those who are just like coming up in the industry, how should they price their work? Because they've been going through a lot of situations where producers, directors, and the likes that have been in the industry, let's say, quote unquote, I've been telling them, oh, come and do the work. It's do it for the passion. I've put in my blood and sweat into it. Just join me in putting in the blood and sweat. There's nothing wrong in doing that, because after all, it's our passion. It's art, and an artist is an artist no matter what. So, but at the same time, we artists need to eat food. Like, we need to survive. Like,
absolutely.
So, in such a situation where they are being convinced, or they are being what is the word now, when you're trying to convince somebody to come in, just
come
bring
and
in,
do your project,
come and do my project
free.
for free, and then we'll give you credit and say, meanwhile, deep inside that you need the money. And even apart from that, sometimes it's not just an upcoming art director. Sometimes it's someone who has at least done one or two or three works, that are good, but still they still get this
funny prices, and
yes,
lots of
they still get this kind of offers of like, come and do work for free. So, Mr. Dare, in the WhatsApp group, you had some things to say. Yeah, so let's hear from you.
Yeah, thank you, Mimi. I think this is very simple for me. Having passed through the whole spectrum of filmmaking, I've been a director, I've been an editor. I'm learning to be a very good art director now. Even producer, I've been a producer because I actually studied producing in school.
Wait, first, before we even get deep into this discussion, can you tell us a bit about yourself? Because we need to hear, his CV is long.
It's not that long. Come on, I'm not Steven Spielberg.
Let's get to know you, Mr. Dare.
Okay, my name is Dare Johnson. I'm a filmmaker, a photographer. I'm an editor. I'm a colorist.
Wow, yeah.
I'm a producer and a film editor. So I think that kind of encapsulates the person that I am.
Yeah.
So when I started back then in school. That's University of Ibadan.
Okay.
2005. I was in 200 level, and then one person introduced us to camera works. Then it was a big camera, analog camera, that you put on your shoulder. So
that's what they used to call it, camera?
Analog camera.
Analog, okay.
Yeah,
I thought you had
okay. That's what we were using. That's how I was trained.
Okay.
So from there, it became obvious that I had very good flair for camera works. And then by my final year, I made up my mind that I was going to go into filmmaking and stuff. Of course, it wasn't easy. When I finished school, I went to do insurance, because of course that time filmmaking, photography was not really in vogue like now that everybody want to be a photographer or anything. Then, so if you say you're a cinematographer or a cameraman, as we call it, people just look at you that, are you okay? You are probably a pauper, or you are a poor person, because you won't make money. But I think this has changed now. That narrative has changed. So back then, I had interest in filmmaking. I went straight into it. While I was doing insurance, it was in Ondo State. So one of my friends worked with their TV station in Ondo State, popular TV station. And one day she just called me from the blues that, oh, Dari, oh, I'm having a crisis. I said, what's happening? He said, that all their camera people have gone out, you know, for one shoot or the other, and then she asked to cover something. And I'm like, okay, no problem, because she knew back then that, you know, I was a cameraman. And then I offered to help her. Remember, I was working in an insurance company, so I was in suits, decked up everything, and then we went out to our shoot. So we went to the secretariat, that's Ondo State Secretariat, and then the interview was with the Commissioner of Information at that time. And then we waited for some minutes, hours. By the time the commissioner came out to attend to us, he was surprised because I was carrying a very massive camera in suit. So he just made a statement like, oh,
Okay.
this is the very first time
Someone
that I'm
that used
seeing
to
a cameraman in suit. I
decked
mean,
up
a
in
proper
suits,
suit.
yeah.
And then all of us laughed, and then my friend said, oh, sorry, he's not a cameraman as it were, but it's just helping me
knows how
out,
to
but
do
he's a professional, he knows how to do it. But the moment the man said it, that this is the first time I'm seeing a cameraman in suit, something just dawned on me that, look, this outfit is not mine. I mean, I'm not a suit person. I'm supposed to be on the field with camera. So, and that changed my, you know, my mindset. That was 2009. And then from that moment, I started looking for ways to go back into filmmaking. Fortunately, like a month after, I got connection, and then I was connected to a person that owns a studio in Lagos. So 2009, late 2009, I came to Lagos to do film, and then I started working in that studio. So that's how I started. So to link it up with this whole conversation, it wasn't like, oh, you started working in a studio now, you are a graduate, then they will start paying you good money. It wasn't like that. Because the studio owner has to trust me, he has to see what I can bring to the table. So I spent almost 6 months working for nothing.
Wow.
Absolutely. So I was learning. So that time, you know, I was a cameraman before that. By the time I came to the studio owner told me something that said, Dari, if you want to be a better filmmaker, learn post-production. And that's how I started learning editing. So in that studio, there are some guys that do editing, After Effects and stuff. And then that's how I learned
The
editing, post-production, all suits, editing, After Effects, motion graphics, even Photoshop and stuff. That's how I started. That was by 2010 I started editing.
Color grading.
No, that was even much more later.
Okay.
So that's how I got introduced into post-production, and from there I was able to mix production and post-production together. So I became an all-rounder cinematographer, so to say. By 2017, I felt that I need to take a bigger step in my career. So I went to New York Film Academy, LA campus, to learn producing. And I chose producing because, you know, for years I've been doing technical stuff. So I said, let me go behind the scene to see how you get to produce big budget movies. So that's why I went to producing, and I think that decision has helped me a lot right now. In hindsight, it was a perfect decision for me, because that took my understanding of and the knowledge of filmmaking to another level. I started seeing filmmaking from a different perspective beyond the technical aspect. So you have to look at business and then aspect of filmmaking. So
I'm right to say you have the Hollywood and Nollywood experience.
Yes, I would say I had a very good Hollywood experience. Nollywood, to be honest, I've not really done so much in Nollywood, but I've done a lot of TV shows, TV commercials, music videos. But Nollywood in itself, meaning the fame for Nollywood, I've not really been. I've done like just 2 movies as editor. as
Mention the short films that you've done.
I've done short films, but proper feature films. I've done like 2.
Oh, you've done 2.
Yeah,
oh,
with Nollywood and stuff.
Now.
But they are just there, man. Nollywood, Nollywood has changed. Yeah, back then it used to be very terrible.
Speaking of Nollywood has changed, I can just imagine. I believe arts direction they didn't exist in those early Nollywood times. They didn't exist. They're just like, okay, this is the location, let us shoot. And it's so funny that people think that they don't even have scripts. Maybe that's overstretching it, but
nah.
I feel like, of course, before an industry grows to a certain extent, there's a lot of freestyling that happens now, right? So I feel like then, as in, every other thing was freestyled, but I don't even think art direction was given any attention. But now we have started to see like the interest in art direction.
Absolutely.
And all that. Yeah.
I mean, it's interesting. You said there was no art direction. There was art direction, however, it was not professional. Every director thought that they were art director at that time as well. So, director is the one that chooses the location. Oh, this is the perfect location I want to do. Oh, this is kind of color I want. This is kind of dressing I want, and stuff. That's what they were doing.
Okay, but they didn't really
focus on the reasons behind why you're choosing
they were doing those things.
Everything,
yeah,
you understand?
Yeah.
So, which is art direction.
Yes, of course.
So,
art direction was happening, but it was just it was just happening.
But we just we didn't have professional art directors or production designers that time. So everybody's just doing the way they see it.
Wear these clothes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that time art direction was going on, but it wasn't conscious. But now things have changed. I mean, a couple of directors, they now know the importance of art direction in their production. So it has changed, but you and I know that it's not to the level that we want it yet. You know, which is why this topic is coming up now. I still think there's still a long way to go in terms of recognizing the work and the roles of art directors in making a blockbuster movie. Right now, people just know that you have to have art direction, production design. But then when it comes to action that speaks louder than voice, drop money for art direction, then they would now be looking at you that is it not just to move flour now? Maybe it's just to put set and I can do it.
I can do it. Yes.
Exactly. So I think that's where the stage we are in right now.
Yes.
But I'm very optimistic that it's going to change. As we are getting enlightened and as things are moving and we are getting better budgets, I'm sure things will start changing for good for art direction.
I actually, right at this stage that we are, the Nollywood industry is in, is like, this is what is lacking to me is art direction, production design, and art direction. Like, I think they're getting the cinematography, like the equipment have improved. Cinematography directors are doing awesome. So and the 3 pillars, it's not what they call it, the 3 pillars of filmmaking is the cinematographer, the director, and then the production design. So I feel like that production design aspect is the aspect now that everybody needs to face and improve on if we really want to take this industry to the next level. So but now they need to be educated, like we're discussing in the WhatsApp group. We understand, okay, yes, we have gotten to this stage. People need to understand that it is not beans. Art is not beans. It's not an easy thing. It's not about moving furniture from one place to another or putting frame here or putting plants here. No, that's not what production design and then the art director's role is. Do you understand? In film. So, Dare, why do you think filmmakers, especially the producers, the directors, need to invest in the production design aspect of film? And how do you what are your solutions, or I don't know how to put it, advice will you give them so that they can start to see it as a part of a film making that they need to focus on, if they want to take their film to the next level?
I think I would say the major reason why,
because you yourself, you're a producer now.
Yeah,
you're a producer, you're a director.
See, Mimi,
you're all round. So I think you're the best person now to tell them the
Mimi,
truth.
this is how I see it. I think it's all about trust. The directors, they've not trusted us enough to say, oh, our directors, you need $1 million to do this project, take. All right. And like I used to say to to us, our directors, that look, the major work lies with us. The orientation needs to first change from our end before we can pass it along to producers or directors. See, thank God for an academy like Ebony Live that set up, awesome. Something like a training for art direction. On a normal day, when you see a company coming up with programs for filmmakers, you never see anything art direction. I mean, this is the very first time, and I'm saying it boldly, that I'm seeing an academy that is coming up with training for art directors. We have for directors, we have for cinematographers, we have for editors, even sound. But most times you don't get to see art direction. So I was very excited when I saw that from Ebony Live, and I think that's where it's going to start from. When people know that you really studied for this thing, not like, I was just moving things up and down.
For 10 years. Let's not talk about.
She understand, I've been moving flowers up and down. I find that this thing is very nice. Yes, I'm an art director. By the time directors start seeing that, oh, you went to school to study art direction, that's where the respect will start coming in. Not like, oh, I've been doing it for years. Who cares? For all we know, the years has been rubbish you've been doing. You understand? So if we have people that, imagine you go to school in the US and say, oh, I studied art direction for 4 years. Oh, come on. Nobody is going to, give you offer of, something ridiculous. So the same thing with art direction. So we've seen people go for 4 years to study cinematography, to study lighting, to study directing, even acting, but we don't see people spending years, 2 years studying art direction. So it's very difficult for me as a director, when I know that I have very strict budget, to prioritize art direction, when I know that there's this cinematographer that is going to give me some mad angles, some mad shots, and then this gaffer, this light guy, is the best in Nigeria. I would rather spend my money there. Art directors say, just put sofas up and down, put what's it called, lamp. You see that lamp is very, it will make and that's it. And that's art direction for you. As far as I'm concerned, it's not you do or die. You understand? You can have a successful film without having a cinematographer, a very good cinematographer, a good lighting designer. Likewise, you can have a successful, very good movie without art direction.
We're talking about next level movie.
Yeah, not all these
it can be good though, with all but next level now.
You understand? So now they are getting orientated that if you want to have a cinematic feel and a cinematic look, you have to bring in art direction. So it's changing, which is why right now we are having good art directors in Nigeria being recognized, and then you can see their works on the TV, but it's not there yet. But it's just a matter of time. Like I said, we art directors, we still need to do a lot more in convincing other filmmakers that our role is important. You understand? So it's going to take time, but it's just a matter of
we're getting there.
Yeah, we're getting there.
So, but for now, as the art department, or how like the art in film is improving in Nollywood, and the up and coming art directors and production designers and all that. How would you advise them to charge for their services? Because from my own experience now, I've had instances where they'll send me a script and I'll do the break. First of all, I'm asking, how much am I getting paid? no comment. Like see if in fact forget about no comment. Like I do it first. Do it first.
Yeah.
As in, like, I don't want to hear that again. Do it first. Okay, fine, no problem. I done it first. That thing took me like a feature film that is how many pages, took me almost my whole day. Overnight. I'm breaking down scripts. Do you understand?
Yeah.
And then I finish doing all that. Okay, how far? So I've submitted to the director or whoever. How far? We're coming. This your breakdown, self. All this money. Before you know it, silence. You have done work. You spent your hours doing work. You have not spent money. Please, I like money. Me and Igbo girl. So all these directors will come and be saying, "Oh, do it for the money. Put passion first." No, I've decided right now that you have to tell me just the way you have told the director how much he's going to get. I don't, because it's normal in the industry. The people like directors, cinematographers, gaffers, they already have a price most times, especially if they have established here, and even if they have not established, at least the price, the budget is there because they are used to it. So by the time they tell them or even ask, they'll say, okay, this is what we're paying you. But when it comes to the art directors, it's like we're dancing Janglova. I don't understand.
So Mimi, take it from me as a producer and also as a director. This thing is not done out of spite that our direction doesn't make any sense. That's we want to just price you and then don't give you money. It's not usually like that. So see, for example, now you talked about script breakdown. See, I'm not going to pay you for breaking down the script, to be honest. You know why? Because I will not pay cast, I will not pay actors and say, okay, check this script out, what do you think? Because
that is a ready script. That is a prepared script now. I'm working.
Mimi, as far as a director or producer is concerned, I give you a script, read through the script. I just want to see your opinion. Oh, it makes sense if we do this and this. I don't want you to spend your time too much.
Okay.
But if you have, if the director or the producer is now ready to work, then as our director is now, you now say, Oga, before I start reading this thing very in depth and breaking it down for you, what is the 411? You see, we have to learn to speak up on time. Not after you've done the work.
Okay, so what you're telling me now is I should not immediately
have
say
that
I'm not
conversation.
Doing, I should at least do an initial. I can do an initial
reading and say,
not
okay,
something in
I like
depth.
it. Just point out
ideas verbally.
Absolutely.
Verbally, like, oh, this is because
I like this saying that you just give them vague ideas. Then they will know that, oh, this person knows what she's talking.
Okay.
And then when you now say, okay, so what's the plan? Because it should be the next question. Do you want me to be art director for this film? Or you want me to be the production designer for this film? And if he says yes, okay, you say, oh, fantastic. How many weeks are we looking at in producing this film? Based on what we are doing, we are going to spend 6 weeks, 8 weeks shooting it. Awesome. Then, as an art director, that is when you start figuring out, okay, can I get back to you in terms of pricing? Start talking about the pricing immediately. Okay, guys, let me get back to you on the pricing, and I'm sure the director or producer will say, okay, fine, let me know. So go back home, do your own work, and cost what is going to take for you to be on the set, and say, okay, for 6 weeks, this is going to be my cost, my service charge
okay,
for this shot. Forget about the props or the material or the set and stuff. This is my own service charge. Once that is agreed, we can now go down to breaking down the whole stuff and then come up with a budget for the film. That is the ideal timeline, the way to go about it. Not that we do it upside down, meaning, oh, you first do the breakdown, do the whole budgeting. You are just doing work for free for them. I mean, because that's the standard way. Even in Hollywood, people, if you want to contract me to do art direction, there are stages of payment. Oh, do you want me to be part of pre-production, meaning I break it down for you, I create everything for you, I do the budget for you.
Okay.
It's part of pre-production. There's a payment for that. You understand? But I know in Nollywood we are not there yet. So they will just give us a lump sum and say, okay, for all your efforts, so this is how much you're going to collect. And see, as a cinematographer, if I'm going on a feature film set, my daily rate is known. Oh, guys, is 70k per day for me. And the producer will say, no, that is too much. Okay, instead of us doing this per day, the whole thing is going to be 6 weeks. Let's do 750k for everything. And then me, I will bring out my calculator at 750. Okay, times this. And then if it works for me, fine. If it doesn't, I'll say no. And then I renegotiate. Sure, you understand? But for art directors, most times we don't do that. We just want to say, okay, quickly, because sometimes most of us, because we are not yet experienced to that level whereby, people pay us even for looking script. At some point, you get to a point in your career that before I look at the script, the producer has to pay some things. You are not even dealing with me again. You are dealing with my agent. It's my agent that will be talking with you. Oh, we want your production designer to look into the script, and then right, it's like hospital now. Before the doctor attend to you, you have to pay for card.
Yes,
exactly. So I mean, that's the standard way. You understand? When you are dealing, when you have an agent that is getting those jobs for you. You understand? There has to be a charge for me to even go through the files. If not, you are just wasting my time.
Okay.
So, but now that we are not there yet, I think look at the script, very go back to them. Oh, I like this. Give them a few pointers, and then ask the next question: am I doing this project with you? Oh, if they say yes, awesome. All right. If you have the cost on your, offhand, tell them, for me, this project is just my service charge is going to be 500k. That is aside the props that we are going to buy, the sets, and the people that are going to work with me. You understand? So that's how we should approach it.
That's very important. Now that you have people mentioned it, the fact that you need assistance and you have to consider their
labor is going to be part of the budget. Not your personal service charge. No,
labor is part of the budget, just like the arts and props elements.
You understand? In setting up your art department where you're going to have 5 people, set dressers, you are the one that will pay them, not the producer.
Yes.
So, producer pays for service charge, your own personal service charge, and then the budget for art department. So inside the budget for art department is where you have, the props, the logistics, the sets, the dresser, any person, the carpenter, everybody that you are the one paying them. You understand? Of course, as long as the budget is agreed upon.
Yes.
So I feel that we should be separating our service charge from the total fee. Yeah, that's the ideal thing. That's the standard thing.
Okay, I like that. You are really, giving me.
Hey, but Mimi, I'm a producer. That's me as a producer. That's how I will accept that if you come to me. Of course, as long as you're not cutting my head, you understand. I will accept that. But I'm not saying every producer in Nollywood will accept that. Because we are just getting.
They will not accept. They will not get me.
Hey, Mimi, you understand? So I think that's where we are going to. We as art directors, we still have some things to do, to get there, to convince directors and producers that we really know what we are doing, and then the service charge that we are quoting really worth it. Yeah, absolutely.
And this, like you said, I'm glad you just said that, because it varies. So if you are still new in the game, of course you can't be doing all these ones.
Better take the job.
First, just like Miss Wavinia taught us in Elka, that as in Ebony Life Creative Academy, that we should when she first started, she
as
even
much as
did
you
some
can
jobs
for
free.
Yeah.
But now she's Hollywood.
You know the truth is this: we are always in a hurry to blow, in quotes. You see a new art director, you see a new cameraman, and then you ask them, oh, so how much is this going to cost? Oh, my own cost is going to be 150k per day. How? Who are you? You understand? If you are not known yet, you cannot be making such demands.
Yeah.
So I think you have to build your portfolio and prove yourself over and over again. Then when you are saying some things, when you are demanding some things, directors and producers will know that, oh, forget it, I'll get it done. This guy worth it. You understand? But when you are still coming up, we can't even trust you that you know what you are doing. You understand? Because like we all know, art direction is very as specialized as it is. It can also be generalistic, because a what's it called, interior decorator can just come and say, Shebi, I'm an interior decoration, no. I will do this, and then move sofa. Shebi is just to put a frame, put a glass. Exactly. You understand?
That's what we're actually facing in this department, because a lot of people, just like you said, interior decorator can just come and say, okay, me, I can do it
and
now, and they'll give their own price. Do you understand? Another person will come and say, oh, it's not to, like you said, to move furniture.
Absolutely.
And say, they will give their own price. But yeah, I think it's proving yourself, creating a brand. Yeah, creating a personal brand around what you do, so that then people can say, people can buy into your style, because everybody has their own style. Buy into your style, buy into your charge.
Absolutely.
Whatever you're charging.
Absolutely.
And how can they do that? Putting out work. You don't have to wait for someone to give you work. You can do personal
Sometimes
projects.
You have to volunteer as well.
You can do volunteer, take free jobs initially. But make sure you document it, put it out there, and show your growth, show your progress.
You know the truth, as art directors, we are in quotes mini directors as well. You have to understand some filmmaking principles before you call yourself art directors.
Yes.
I mean, I get embarrassed when you see some art directors that they don't understand what we work on a film set or not. You understand? You are not an art director, you are just an interior decorator.
Yeah.
If that's what you do. So you have to learn. You have to learn, oh, this thing that I'm going to use, this material, is it going to affect sound? Is it going to affect lighting? Is it going to affect the camera angles and stuff? You have to learn these things. You understand? And that comes with knowledge and learning, and then experience. So you can buy all those things. You have to go through it. It's a process.
Yeah, it's a process, and a lot of doing.
It's a lot of work. You have to experiment, work with people, and do some crazy stuff.
So that your passion can turn to paper.
Absolutely.
Real paper. You know.
Absolutely. I mean, at the end of the day, trust me, forget passion. No. We all want to make money. I'm not.
Drive Benz.
I love art direction, I love filmmaking and stuff, but the bottom line is I want to make money, okay? I'm not here in Lagos to can't bridge you.
Yes, so.
You understand? If you have family, you have to feed your family. Even if you don't have family, you have to feed yourself.
You can't be a poor artist forever.
Absolutely
like
not. So
that's idea of the artists or arts in film or art directors needs to just change. Like, it's the money. Show us the paper. Show us the money. You know, as far as you're dealing with an art director that knows what they are doing, pay them their worth.
100%. So if you are not paying your art directors what they're worth, or even some people even do it because they don't invest enough in props, and then we art directors start manufacturing things out of the sky, and then by the time your film comes out, they start seeing mistakes and funny things on set, and it's because proper attention is not paid into props. Where are you getting the props from? You understand? We are just doing makeshift, and during shoot things are coming, that wall is washing, the colors are washing, and it's terrible. So it's a lot of investment in art, but trust me, it's going to pay off.
Yes.
Some good directors now are getting it in Hollywood. I mean Nollywood now, and I'm happy. I'm very happy. You can't have a Netflix original without putting arts into consideration. It's not possible. It is not possible. Forget it. You understand? So for aspiring cinematographers, for aspiring filmmakers, start thinking about art, because that is going to differentiate your work from the general works that you see there in Nollywood. It's art is going to take your work to another level. Yeah.
And speaking of art, I think I might just be mentioning this in every podcast, and I actually went in depth on it with Blue, Adekunle Blue. Art takes time. Like we need to be involved in the pre-production.
You have no idea.
We need to be involved in the pre-production. If you are interested in putting art in your film, you need to prepare for pre-production for the art director or production designer. It can't be if you are doing rush last minute.
Trust me.
The shoot is tomorrow. You are giving me script today. I'm sorry.
No, it's already a failure. You understand? The truth is this: after script writing, and then even actors, I would say the next that you should call is your art director. Before, in fact, some people call art directors before directors.
Yes, now.
You understand? Because their work needs to be
from the beginning.
If you are going to build sets, you have to build sets for months. You understand? Imagine a set of Titanic. The kind of years they used to build the set. You understand? Before this age of CGIs and stuff, you have to build physical sets. It takes time. It's like you're building house.
Yes, now.
You understand? So you can't just call me a week to the shoot. Boy, where you there now? Alpha, I want you to do art direction, okay? In fact, I want 3D image. How? Who are you? You understand? Not a week. It takes time. It takes. What pisses me off is they want you to do mood board. They want you to do some mini animation.
Prop
they
design.
Want to
Sometimes some props, you have to design from scratch.
You have to sew some clothes, costume. You understand? You have to build props. You have to get a gun. Do you know how many places you have to look for? Who has this gun? And
sometimes it's not in the country.
It is a lot of time.
If you are interested in taking your film to the next level, those are the people who are talking to.
In fact, the art director is still going to do a lot of research.
Yes.
On your script. Yes. I read your script. I have to research the background story. Okay. Imagine an epic film, a period film that happened in some years ago, some centuries ago. I have to spend time to do research on what do they wear, how do they look, the environment. Oh boy, that's a lot of time.
And I feel that's the reason why a lot of Nollywood films that are not innovative, they're not futuristic, they are not out of this world, because they're only just like doing what is here and everything. They're not, like I said, they're not focusing on production design, because if the production design is being considered really just the way it's considered in Hollywood, we're talking about out of this world movies that needs total preparation in order to bring it to life. Research. So we need to focus on that.
I mean, we studied Black Panther. I mean, these guys, they came to Africa months before the production. Look at the landscape, look at everything, the materials, the clothing, and then they went back, blended it with their own culture, and then they came up with something out of it. A
new world.
You understand? So art direction is more or less creating a world. Like Wavia will say, you are bringing a new world into existence, and then you can't just create a new world from the sky. It has to be from something that is existing, and to get that knowledge is research. So are we even doing research? Sorry, we are not. We should not lie to ourselves. We are not doing research.
Mr. Dari, I think we're on the journey.
It's a long journey.
It's a long journey.
Yeah.
We're getting there. As far as this podcast and every other effort that we're individually making and putting out there, gets to more people, I'm sure people will start to think about, okay, let's take our movies to the next level. So yeah, I'm really happy about this topic, and Thank you so much for coming. Like, do you have any other thing to add?
I'll just say to new upcoming art directors, because I would say that 90% or 85% of art directors right now, we are still upcoming.
Yes, so
you understand, because we've not blown, you understand, and then we are still learning on the job. So I would say that learn as much as you can. See, we are still in the conventional filmmaking era in Nigeria, whereas in the abroad, in Hollywood, they have gone to another level, virtual. Imagine a director in a virtual production. That's another level entirely. You are going to be with people building CGIs, building environments.
Wow.
You understand? There's environmental art directing now, CGIs, and we are still in building sets, physical sets. So there's still a long way to go.
Yeah.
So I would say for art directors now, start learning about what is to come. There will be a point whereby our regular stuff is not going to fly. This regular production that you go to location.
It's not flying for me. For me already, it's not flying for me.
See, even in the US now, some of their major blockbusters that you are seeing, they are done in a studio, not a location anymore. Everything is, whether they are creating the physical set or they are creating the CGIs, everything is done in a studio.
Yeah.
In fact, now people are doing screen. They are using LED walls as set.
Oh yes.
LED walls all through. See, Mandalorian was all through LED walls.
Wow.
The landscape you are seeing, the props you are seeing behind they were LED walls. You understand? That's another level. And then here we are still struggling with director, pay my money. You have to come on. So I will say that learn as much as you can. You cannot stop learning as art directors. That is when producers, EPs, directors, any other person in this field will be respecting us.
True.
When you come to pre-production and you start breaking some things down, they will look at you and say, where's this guy from? That is when your knowledge is showing. Not that you are in a pre-production meeting and you don't have anything to say, and then you are trying to say something, say, oh, shut up, okay, producer is talking. You understand? We have to get to a level whereby our knowledge cannot be undermined. They know that you are bringing something valuable, something important, integral to the production. Until we get there, we are directors. I'm serious. We are joking. So you can only get there by learning and unlearning some things. So that's just my advice for we upcoming art directors.
All of us are upcoming at this point.
We are all upcoming.
Wow, thank you so much. I don't even think I have any other thing to add to that because we've really covered all the areas. Thank you so much for coming on my podcast. Thank you so much for coming on Arts in Film podcast.
Thank you.
So looking forward to having you again. We'll talk about something else.
I appreciate it.
Yeah. Everybody clap your hands for Dr. Dre.
Thank you.
All right, thank you so much for listening. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. Please follow us on please follow us on artcasts_tribe on Instagram and YouTube. You can listen to this podcast. It's going to be available on Spotify as well as Anchor FM. Make sure you follow us on this handle so that you can know when we're posting the next one. Please like, comment, say something. We want to know that people are listening to us. Contribute to the discussion. That's what is needed. If you're an art director, producer, production designer out there, please contribute to this discussion so that it reaches to more people. Share it and let's make noise in the industry. You know what I mean? All right. Have a great day. Bye.